Alright, morning everybody. Welcome to 307 country. Well, I had to buy a wheelchair. Not for the reasons that you would think. So let me explain a little bit. I'm fine, just so everybody knows. Well, at least I'm not needing a wheelchair for me. So, let me tell you what's going on here. Okay. So my DIY power feed on my sawmill isn't working. I can't get a tensionometer to control the winch motor to stay working. They work for a little bit and then they quit. And it's probably because when I decrease the voltage, it's creating too many amps for the system that I've got in there to work correctly. So what I did, I bought a wheelchair to see if I can make that work. Use one of the motors off of this because I've got the control right here and the speed to run my mill back and forth on the carriage. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and tear this thing apart and see if I can figure out how to get one of the motors for the wheels mounted on my sawmill with a sprocket on it to run my mill up and down the carriage. So let's go ahead and see if we can get it to work. First of all, the reason they sold it, they didn't need it anymore and the batteries were dead. I got it for $100, and to buy the power feed option for my mill is like $1,200 or $1,300. So if I can get this to work with a little bit of labor, I'm going to be way money ahead. So let's go ahead and tear into it and see what we can figure out. Bring you back in a minute. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is get my controls off. Zip ties, get them loose. And let's see, that right there, an Allen wrench. Alright, there we go. Now we can get rid of the seat. Alright, so the next thing, it's got two little batteries in it. Let me find a battery and maybe some jumper cables. See if we can get something that has some juice to it, and put it on here and see if these will run. Bring you back in a minute. Alright, I've got some battery cables hooked up. That battery is thought it had charge. Had 12 volts. So let's see. Ain't working yet. Let me try something else. Alright, I've got the old batteries out. So I'm just going to take and clamp the terminal to the battery. There's a reset button here, but that doesn't seem to be working either. Not getting the power button to come on. Whether that's because there's not enough juice or what, I don't know. Alright, well, let's tear into it a little farther and we'll see what happens. Give me a minute. Alright, well, I've got it charging, plugged in the charger, so it's blinking up here, so I'm assuming it's charging. I hooked both wires to the battery, both positive and both negatives. But what I'm going to do now is pull the wheel off and kind of get into this and see what it's going to take to mount one of these to the mill. Alright, this is going to be simple. It's a keyed. Put that in neutral. It's a keyed shaft. So all I got to do is get a deal that I can weld the sprocket to that's the right diameter with a keyway in it, and I can mount it right to that shaft. Now that's a gearbox. I could mount it directly to the shaft on the motor, but I think what I'll do is mount it to this shaft. That'll be easier. There's 3 bolts here, so I'll just build a plate. I'll just build a plate that I can weld to the mill that I can mount this whole system to, and put a shaft on there. So that's, let's see, that looks to be about a 5/8 shaft. So I should be able to find a deal that'll fit on there. And Tractor Supply, or we have a place called Baumgar's. They sell these collets basically, and they have different sizes that you can put a sprocket on and just weld your sprocket on there, so that ought to work. I could get this bored out. I could take it, put it in the drill press or something, bored out, and then figure out how to cut a keyway in it. I don't have a keyway cutter, so I don't know. Let's see that keyway. Just under 1/4 of an inch. So, and we're looking, oh, that nut will probably fit on there and hold that on there if I find one that's the same size. I wonder if I got enough charge in here. Well, we'll let this charge for a while and see what happens. I almost need a dang manual to figure out what all these lights mean, but... Alright, we'll bring it back when I get the batteries charged up. Alright, well, we're back on this. So, I let this charge all night, had it all hooked up, and came out and tried it, and it still wasn't running everything. And I got to thinking about it, and there was actually 2 small batteries in here. So it got me to thinking this might be a 24 volt system. So I pulled all the wiring apart, and if you look right here, I've got a positive and negative going to this reset switch. So this positive off of this battery comes out here, comes to this switch, goes out as a black, which comes to this battery, and then your positive goes into the control panel here, and the negative off of this battery goes straight to the control panel here. So I'm a 24 volt system, I think. So I thought what I'd do, I had another battery that's got some charge to it. So let's hook it up and see if we've got juice. See if it'll work. Oh, I'm just going to clamp this on here temporarily. Actually, let's do it this way. Hold on a sec. Let me get... Thing about it is my mill is 12 volt system, so I got to figure out if I can wire this and still have 12 volt going to the mill and 24 going to the controller for the mill, the carriage. Alright, so we got that battery hooked up. That should be getting juice. So let's see if we hit the power button, and you can see the deal there. I've got battery showing on there. Horn works. There we go. And I can speed it up, slow it down. All right. So my next deal, let's see. I got to figure out if I wire it this way for this, and I come off of these 2 posts to go to the mill, if I'm still going to be running 12 volt to the mill and 24 volt to this, which I'm going to diagram that out maybe, and then I'll have to mount another battery on the mill. So I think we've got that part going. Now let's see what I got to do for my deal here. Oh, I need that hooked up. Then the only thing, if that all works, my only problem is going to be getting charge to my second battery, which I should be able to plug my charger in and charge both of them. That should work. I may have to put a disconnect on my mill so I'm not sending. No, it should still work. I don't know. Let me go see what I got for my driver here and see if we can make that work so I can drive the mill. Alright, stopped down at the Ranch Supply. Got me a new collar and a new sprocket, so the sprocket just fits right on here. And you just weld it on. So then the question is, I think it's should be the right size. So this key is too wide to fit in there. And that doesn't fit on there. So I'm going to have to probably ream this out a little bit. And then either cut my key down to fit in here, which is probably what I'll do. So, probably metric shaft or something, because this is a 5/8 diameter hole here. Yeah, that's 5/8. So this shaft must be a little bigger than 5/8. Probably be easier to bore this out than to shave that shaft down, so. Alright, well, that's got that. Next thing I need to do, we'll pull all this stuff off and I'll build a bracket for the mill to mount the motor to. So, then I'm gonna have to build another battery box for the mill. So let me get some of that stuff done and I'll bring you back when I get all of that done. Alright, talk to you in a bit. Alright, so I got this reamed out. I had a drill bit that's a little bit smaller than this. So I drilled it out first and then used my die grinder and cleaned it out to where it would fit. It's still a little rough in there, but it fits on. So now what I need to do is get the key right here to fit in my collet. So I did, went in, grabbed a Sharpie, basically put some layout dye on it and get it put in here. And then there's another one. Take a pick, I'm just going to scribe on this side. Hopefully that made a mark. Then we'll get the calipers. And get a measurement on this. .175. I'll lock this in there. My 173, a couple thousandths ain't gonna be a huge deal. mark on there, hopefully. Yeah, it's hard to see, but there is a mark there. You can see that one maybe. One on that side. You can see it there. And I may even have to take, I'm gonna have to take a little off the top too, because after drilling this out, this keyway isn't very deep in there, and I don't have a file small enough to go all the way through there that's wide enough to cut that out anymore. So we'll just make the keyway that tall. This does have 2 set screws on it, so it should never strip anyway. So let's see if we can get this cut out to the right dimensions. Got a 60 degree here. See if we can get it on there where we need to be. If I knew somebody with a milling machine, this would be a simple task. Alright, we're gaining. Got a good lip there going. They probably make a key that's stepped like this. I could probably go to the store and buy one. Check our top and see where we're at there. Still got a ways to go. The front side's pretty close. Back side I still need a little more. Grab my collet. Doing this with gloves on ain't very good. Don't quite fit. I'll take a little more, see if the other end fits. That end fits close. Now let's see. Slides in there pretty good. So now I just need to take some off the top, get it to fit on there with the shaft. little taper on the end there, make it go on a little easier. We may have it. Ooh. Well, looks like I need to take a little more. Alright, well, we got her to fit. So now, these sprockets, like I can buy different teeth number size and also different chain size down, you know, 30, 40, 50, I think up to 60. You get much bigger than they've got a different collet that's a bigger collet, but this is a 50 by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sprockets, or teeth. So we'll go ahead and weld that on, and then the motor will be ready. So give me a second here and I'll get set up. Now we'll see how I do without a hood. I'm just tacking this on at like 4 spots. So let's see how I do here. I guess I better turn the gas on. Oh, that one didn't do very good. There we go. That's on there. I may have to grind a little bit off of that tooth for the chain to go by. It'll probably work. We'll find out when we get it put on. The thing about this, I mean, there's not a lot of stress on this thing. Just to move that carriage up and down, or the mill up and down the carriage. If it got hung up or something, you know, I'm going to shut it off before it really has a chance to strip anything out or tear anything up. So, all right, we'll be back in a minute. All right, well, we're making progress. So I'm going to let that cool down for a little bit. I got some stuff to do in the house, and I don't know if I'll get back on this project today or not, but we'll see. So we're going to call that video good for now, and the next one will be getting the motor mounted on the wheel, or on the mill, and getting a battery mounted, getting the controller on there. So we got some fabricating coming up, and we'll get that part of it done and see if it works. So really appreciate everybody stopping by, watching videos, and commenting down below. Hope everybody's having a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. 307 out.